What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content daily. We also stream over on Twitch at This Is Aftersound, as well as on this channel Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sunday mornings. So come by and say hello. Okay, I wanted to go over the usual town hall, my 5 biggest takeaways. Now, this is not a recap. This is not a summary. This is just the 5 things that kind of stuck out to me. And there's plenty of other content creators, one of which I wanted to highlight today. So this is Rosie W on Splinter Talk and Peak D, who does the minutes for the town halls. Now, this is not like a summary. This is like literally a record of most of the conversation. And the awesome thing is Rosie had this out literally before the town hall ended. They were saying goodbye, and then this was posted, which is crazy to me because the official post or the official summary by the team is not even up yet, and we're already on the following morning. So shout out to Rosie. Wanted to share this and share her content here, so hopefully you guys can go and show some love to her on the platform. Now, a couple things before I get in. So I have my 5 takeaways here. I want to warn you ahead of time. If you missed the town hall and you're thinking about watching it, here's what I have to say. If you are looking for alpha leaks, if you're looking for like any major updates, any major announcements, it's not there. This was not the town hall for you. If you are struggling with the game right now and very frustrated with delays on releases and things like that, don't watch it. Because it just there wasn't much in terms of new things, and even the Q&A section, I would say, didn't have as much. So from a content perspective, in terms of stuff that we can take away to talk about, this was actually difficult for me to actually find things. It was really more so in the AMA that several things had stuck out to me, because that was more of a off the cuff, let's ask some questions that the community has been trying to get answers on for a while, and that's where I was really diving into some of my biggest takeaways. So that being said, we're going to take it back over here. So these are my 5 biggest takeaways. I got a little visual for you. And yes, the first one, I think Agard would agree to this, but the town hall was essentially a sausage making party. And this is in reference to the fact that, Agard was talking about how he wants to share how the sausage is made. So several of the folks that were on the town hall, and Chatter wasn't there, Nate wasn't there. I think that the main people were Weirdbeard, Doogie, and Agrod. And so they had on several folks who I don't remember the names of right now. We can probably... No, they're probably here somewhere, but I think Sicario was one of them. Wrath was another one. A lot of what this went into, though, was what the people have been working on, what these team members have been working on, how long they've been here, what their journey into crypto has been like. It's been the same for a lot of other previous guests, but I felt like this went on for the entire town hall portion, right? And the town hall portion generally lasts for the first hour. And then the AMA section kind of goes into the second half, and there's 2 parts of that, right? First, they read pre-selected questions or questions that were sent in from the previous week, and then they go into the live AMA. This time around, I feel like they went deep into the town hall portion and cut into the other time. They said there weren't that many questions, so that was the reason we got a lot of how the sausage is made. Several of these team members came on and talked about, what their experience has been like. Most of it was from a either developmental or project management perspective, and how these different things are coming together. So, if you're playing the game and that's all you really care about, I don't think that this would be of any interest to you. To me, from an investment standpoint, I still have an interest in learning how all of this comes together and how teams are structured and people who are brought in. It just shows that they talk about 100 people being on the team, or 100 team members at this point. So them bringing on more people to talk about how long they've been here, what they've been doing, how they are making an impact, and what essentially their role is of interest to me. But it's not the crazy alpha leaks that I think people expect from the town hall, where we get these major rewards updates, we get details and juicy info on validator nodes and modern and wild. There was literally, I would say there's literally none of that in this town hall, which is why I give the warning ahead of time, because it's funny. It's starting to get some really negative and frustrated comments again, which I said I understand. So, but For the longest time, the comment section was a relatively like safe space for me to go into in my channel. I'm talking about, and now the comment section has a lot of these. This game is garbage. This game, and I'm just like, you're entitled to your opinion. I'm not here to convince you. I'm never going to be here to sell you. And I think, most of the people who come here know that I try to shoot as straight with you as possible when it comes to this, which again, is why I'm giving you my breakdown of the town hall by just saying, if you are looking for a certain thing, it's not there. So don't watch it because it might just frustrate you more. So that's essentially what this town hall was. It was a sausage making party. There wasn't anything from, crazy releases or like news updates. We didn't get any information on the promo card. We didn't get any information on Modern and Wild. I mean, outside of what we already know or are guessing, we didn't get any information on the rewards. So yeah, it really was just a peek behind the scenes, which has value. So I'm not trying to devalue it, but for many of the folks who come through on this channel, I know what you're looking for. I know the things that you get excited about. And so that's why I'm just trying to tell you, this may not have been the town hall for you, but keep in mind, Matt was on last week. So we may have 2 more town halls like this. We may have 2 more town halls like this where it's not going to be, there won't be anything of, crazy release or interest or info, until Matt comes back on probably sometime mid-May. So just throwing that out there as a bit of a heads up. Okay, so let's jump into the rest of the takeaways. Now, there was a question asked about quest potions, and somebody was offering, or somebody asked Aggroed and offered a different idea for how to rework the quest potions to make them, more enticing, more incentive for people to engage with them and to use them. And the answer that Aggro gave, I appreciate it because I think it's part of the company ethos and why I'm such a big fan of the team, big fan of the game. But essentially what he was saying was, they don't want to do things that incentivize money going to the company, right? Because if they sell quest potions, that's money going to the company. They would rather that money go into the cards and the game economy, because the cards and the game economy are owned by the collective. It's owned by everybody who has assets within this game. And so, again, from just an ethos and perspective, I appreciate where that comes from. And I will say that I've seen that consistent in a lot of the ways that the team has worked this, right? So even for the pre-sale, they were giving vouchers out. That was one of the first times that I got sold. With the pre-sale of Chaos Legion, they were giving vouchers out to the top SPS stakeholders. This wasn't something like a raffle that the company was doing where you had to buy more. Like, you buy SPS and you stake it, right? You're getting the rewards. You own that token. So what they are doing is rewarding token holders, and the token is available to anybody, right? So, and when I say anybody, I mean like literally anybody. This is not a how much money do you have versus somebody else. It's from an accessibility standpoint, which if you're from the US or in other countries where this might be the case, like, that's not always going to be, we have the whole like accredited investor situation here, where if you have less than $1 million, you can't get in on IPOs, you can't get in on like early projects, things like that. So, that to me is like one of the ways that the rich stay rich or the rich get richer, right? Because the poor or like even middle class, if you don't have like $1 million in assets, if you are not given access to the, some of the highest returns. Yes, they're high risk, and that is how the government or regulators will look at this and say, oh well, it's high risk, so we want to protect investors. But if investors want to like take a chance with their own money, they should be given that opportunity. There shouldn't be like legal ramifications for doing so. So taking this back to the whole Splinterlands thing, and owning cards, owning assets, owning tokens. Now you can get in, and it's open to anybody, and you can come in through a decentralized way with a decentralized wallet. So I think that is fantastic. And again, I just appreciated his answer when it came to that they're not focused on like making whatever types of revenue for the company more enticing. So quest potions obviously being a big part of that. Okay, number 3. This was an interesting one. There was a lot of questions about bots. And one of the suggestions, which I don't agree with because I'm all for the decentralization, but one of the suggestions was, with all these like people coming in, I should say, so it's people that run the bot accounts, it was saying something along the lines of, is there any way that we could limit, people coming in to only having like 10 accounts rather than, these bot account owners that own like sometimes thousands, maybe tens of thousands of bots, right? We're talking like 5-figure bots at this point. And Agro said, literally along the lines, what we don't want to do is handicap the whales. If the whales want to put money into the game, then we want them to be able to do so. Now, I actually like this answer from a theoretical standpoint. I know many of the anti-bot community or members of the community are going to look at this and be like, don't handicap whales. Are you kidding me? What a like what a terrible answer. But from Agro's standpoint, and I'm going to try and play both sides of this and strongman both sides. From Agro's standpoint, if you stop money from flowing into the game, then overall, like, it just stunts the growth of the economy. So you want people who have the money to invest in this game to do so in hopefully as many ways as possible, right? Now, the flip side of this is, well, if you want to limit accounts or if you want to incentivize, then people should like spend that money buying SPS or spend that money buying cards or spend that money buying whatever, rather than like creating all these different accounts. The thing is, from a decentralization standpoint, you're never going to be able to get rid of bot accounts. You're never going to be able to get rid of accounts in general, right? Like, the whole thing with this is that they don't want to be finding accounts, hunting them down, and banning them. That goes against like the whole ethos of decentralization. The main thing is that the team wants to be able to disincentivize bad behavior, right? And bad behavior, here's what it comes down to. Bad behavior is something that a human finds and then a bot exploits, because the scale of bots can make things really, really terrible. Now, the bot conversation has taken so many twists and turns, so I'm not trying to rehash any of that. I will say, from the standpoint of people who are anti-bot, that you're never going to get what this whole banning of bots or limiting of accounts, because that, again, just goes against the ethos of what the entire company is trying to build. But I understand where you're coming from, and I can understand where the kind of that viewpoint of like, let whales do whale things can rub you the wrong way, right? And so the way that it was kind of put out there when it was said, like, that was literally one of the first things that I wrote down. I was just like, yeah, this is going to be a takeaway, because I need to digest what this means and how Agro is breaking it down. Like I said, from a theoretical standpoint, it makes sense. You want people with money to come into the game. That's the whole point, right? And you don't want to limit them from that standpoint. You want them to be able to spend. Now, can we incentivize them to do different types of things? Well, hopefully with this rewards update, yes, we will, because at the very least, if they want to create extra accounts, they will need to buy more cards, meaning that more cards are scooped up off the market. And think about it as a constricting supply, right? Like, if all of these accounts are going to require cards, bot or not, they will need cards, meaning that there will be less supply available. And when there's less supply and more demand, prices go up. So from that perspective, I think, the way that it came off, I can understand if it triggered people, because I think I even saw some comments in the Discord or YouTube live stream of it. So, but at the end of the day, what they don't want to do, and I agree with it wholeheartedly, right, from their perspective, that they don't want to limit the amount of money people are throwing into this game. If people want to come in, if people have the resources and want to come in and spend, then they can do it. And hopefully what the team will be focused on from here on out, and what they've been focused on, is disincentivizing bad behavior or any type of exploit that, having multiple accounts would have. And that's why this whole push towards having a game economy where you get the most out of having all of your assets in one account would be ideal. So that's what we had for that. Number 4, this was interesting because we haven't gotten much on this in recent times, but it was talked about the SPS ranked battle rewards. So we know that's coming. It's probably going to happen after the airdrop at some point. I think they really want to see how things shake out. Plus, they don't want any more dilution to what's already being out there, since that's what's causing so much of the kind of downward price pressure. And I maintain that SPS ranked battles are just going to be another form of downward price pressure. So when that ends up coming out, one of the things that we heard, well, the assumption before was that you would need to have SPS stake to earn SPS. Then, maybe 3 months ago at this point, somebody had asked Matt point blank about it, and he said, no, that kind of goes against what we want. You should be able to earn SPS without having SPS stake. You should be able to play the game as somebody new who doesn't own this stuff and earn SPS through that. Now, Aggro did admit that none of this is fully thought out yet and none of it is finalized, but kind of agreed to the point that, yes, you will be able to earn at the very minimum if you have nothing, but also if you have higher tiers of SPS staked, that could increase the amount of SPS that you have earned. Or sorry, not if you, it could increase the amount of SPS that you earn per battle, right? So think about the way that we have DEC earn bonuses right now. So yeah, at the very basic level, if you have no SPS or no SPS staked, I should say, you're going to earn X amount. And then for every, maybe 5,000, 10,000 SPS that you have staked, you get a percentage boost, 1%, 2%, 5%, whatever it ends up being, in the same way that the DEC payouts are done right now, and probably how the rewards share payout will be set up. So that was an interesting thing because we haven't heard anything really about ranked battle rewards, but with the way Aggro answered the question, I highly doubt that we're like anywhere close to this. There's too many other things on the map. So let me put it this way. I hope we get it out this year. People think it's going to happen right after the airdrop, and I'm not confident about that. I think that this is something that will. Well, no. Let me put it this way. If it does happen, it's going to be because people are going to be complaining about the reward structure as it stands once DEC either goes back to its peg or even below its peg. So there may be an outcry for it, but the way that it was being talked about sounds like there's too many other things happening, and it's just not anywhere on like the map. I don't think if it's even on the roadmap. I don't think it was even mentioned there. So I do think that it'll come. Hopefully it comes before the end of the year. All right, and last one. This was just in context for Rebellion, or in reference to Rebellion. Somebody asked if they will push off Rebellion until Chaos Legion sells out, or how that will look. And Aggro kind of echoed the points that Matt had made about how they want some time in between the sellout of Core Set and the launch of the next one. So this idea that they have Rebellion on the roadmap for Q1 of 2023, again, it shows me that at least at that point in time, the team had a certain level of confidence that Chaos Legion would sell out, not just by like end of December, but like September or October, because I don't know what a little time of being sold out would be. Now, if we look at what happened between Untamed and Chaos Legion, there was about 6 months in there. I don't know that the team would want to go that long again, although maybe that is the new precedent that is being set. I would assume, though, that it would be no less than 3 months, because that allows there to be kind of this hype cycle, that FOMO that builds in, asset prices increase in value, and essentially people who have been around the game during the tough times, that's where they get to dump on all the new players, right? So if you think about it, I know it sounds terrible when I say it, but it's the truth. Like all the people who had been, playing the game before July of last year, their assets increased like crazy. And for many of them, they were getting either awesome rental income, or they were the ones selling Jotun for $1,000, right? So, and had bought Jotun for $20-$30 just a couple of months prior. So in that way, it's the team wants to kind of artificially recreate those periods of inflation in price, just due to the scarcity, right? So hopefully whatever ends up happening, whatever catalyst it is, whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's play to earn, blockchain gaming, mooning, whatever ends up happening, that offers itself as a catalyst and makes packs sell out, they want to create that time and have it, be, I would say, again, this is my opinion. This is not, the team has said anything, but I wouldn't see it being any less than 3 months. So if that is the case, then I don't see how we're like on pace for anything crazy. That like some craziness would absolutely need to happen between now and September that forces, or that allows like Chaos Legion to sell out. So that gives us like, I would say 4 months essentially at this point. We're almost into May. Now, yes, are there some major things coming? The ranked rewards updates, modern and wild format. So I don't see those as being like 10x catalysts for the entire space or 10x catalysts for Splinterlands specifically, which makes me believe we're not going to see Rebellion in Q2. And I would actually say that maybe doing a yearly cycle is going to be doing a yearly cycle is just not going to be feasible with the amount of packs that we have right now for Chaos Legion and the growth that we're seeing, especially if we go into a deep bear market. So my new expected launch for Chaos Legion is my new expected launch for Rebellion is probably going to be Q3 of next year. So I'm going to push it back like 6 months. And that just goes with I feel like that just kind of goes in line with a lot of the other timelines that we're seeing. So unless something changes, that's where I see things kind of playing out. I mean, pack sales are pretty much dead right now. And I mean, there's still so many unopened packs on the secondary market too. And secondary pack prices have dropped, if you saw the video that I posted the other day. So it's not like, the demand isn't there. And if the world economy, not the game economy, but literally the world economy that includes crypto, that includes broad markets, that includes everything, I mean, if that continues to falter and fail, if there's continued global conflict around the world, yeah, I mean, there's not going to be money flowing into this. People aren't going to try to escape into games. I mean, normally they do, but they'll probably be escaping. Well, actually, I don't know. I could be wrong, so I may end up eating my words. But I'm worried more about where things go from, like I said, a global macroeconomic scale, and I just don't see that filtering down into play to earn. I don't think the world is ready for that. I think the world has a ton of awesome Web 2 games that they will find their escape into. The good thing is that if we continue on this track and Bitcoin continues to gain more relevance and become the gateway drug, for lack of better terms, for crypto, then you never know what that could lead to. But even now, I think we're definitely in a ranging or even like bear market for Bitcoin for the next 2 years. So again, I just don't see those catalysts. Hopefully, if play to earn gaming can be remove the correlation, then it could happen the same way that Axie did last year. The hope, right? The optimist in me looks at that and says, okay, Bitcoin crashed 50% last year, flash crash after the China news, after the Elon Musk tweet. So during that time is when Axie Infinity boomed. Can Splinterlands do that? Yeah, it can. And obviously my pie in the sky goal is that it does. But I don't know that history necessarily repeats itself, at least not, given the context that we have within the world right now. So I've gotten way too deep into this. I guess what I'm trying to say is that there's no set time for Rebellion. I'm going to push it back 6 months in my mind, just for my own mental sanity. And unless we start to see something different, that's where I see things taking place. So even if Chaos Legion were to sell out tomorrow, we probably wouldn't get Rebellion for 3 to 6 months beyond that. So that's all I have for you guys in this town hall, in this 5 biggest takeaways. Like I said, it was interesting, but there wasn't much in terms of new information. So hopefully this was helpful or valuable to you. I will catch you all in the next video, and I will see you around the game. Take care.